Good evening, all. I'm Ananya, and Team Polkadot India welcomes you all to yet another exciting chapter of DotFriday. And today, we are going to take the conversations to NFTs and a whole new level at that. And what's new, what's unexplored. So thanks, guys. I think this is a fabulous combination we have out here. Thank you for joining us. So we ran a contest with our partners, Hack to Skill, giving you all a chance to create your own NFTs. The entries were actually fabulous, and stick around to know who our winners are at the end of this catch-up. So thanks again, guys, for the lovely participation. We saw some really nice stuff. Now, a quick contest for all of you and for some easy freebies too. Follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. Like and co-tweet the pinned tweet currently, tagging us at _Polkadot India. Also tag 2 non-follow friends along. And lucky 5 of you grab the much loved Polkadot India hampers. As simple as that. Now, without further ado, I gladly call upon an absolute hustler who is pretty much going to get anything done. The Polkadot India community head, Shri Harsha. Over to you, Harsha, to say hello to our folks out here today.
Hey, thanks, Ananya. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining in for DotFriday. We do have great speaker lineup, as you're already aware of. We do have speaker from Astar, Unique Network, and EnjinStarter. A long story short, we come up with a solid tech background as a global award-winning product-based company. We are located in Bangalore, India. We entered Web3 ecosystem a couple of years ago. We started Polkadot India initiative to educate you all on what's happening with respect to Polkadot ecosystem. We do have 2 flagship events. One is DotFriday, another one is Substrate Saturday. DotFriday, a monthly webinar with global Web3 founders and leaders, where founders will come and educate us on what's happening with respect to Polkadot ecosystem. And we do have Substrate Saturday, where it's exclusively bootcamp for developers. We have designed the curriculum and training program for where people can educate on Rust and Substrate. In case if you want to transit from Solidity to Rust, this is a platform for you. In case you want to kickstart your career in Rust, this is a platform for you. And it's absolutely free of cost. And I'm very happy to tell you that over the last 9 months, we have grown from 0 to 11,000 member community with active participation of Web3 enthusiasts, students, aspiring entrepreneurs, marketeers, entrepreneurs, and investors, and many more. For this, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being a part of our community, and of course, being a part of our journey. A special thanks to Parity folks for the constant support, and of course, our partners, Hack to Skill, Head Start, Blockchain India, Wow Labs, and many more. Having said this, in the coming months, we do have plans for many other initiatives like offline events, offline meetups, the national meetups, hackathons, and hackathon exclusively for developers. Please do join our WhatsApp community. Please do join our Telegram. Please do follow us on Twitter and stay updated about our upcoming events. I wish you all a great evening. I'm sure we have a lot of key takeaways today, and please stick around till the end. We have a lot of dots to drop, and also we have a lot of goodies to give you guys. Thank you again for joining this evening. Over to you, Ananya.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Harsha. The team sure is very kicked about what's coming up, especially the national meetup. It would be really great to meet all the people out here. And before we move on, I'm very excited to announce, especially for the developers out here, that our Substrate Saturday bootcamp is starting up on June 25th. And this is a 3-month bootcamp with, 6 sessions. So it's going to happen every alternate Saturday. And this is going to be great. So if you're a developer wanting to build Web3 projects, you should join in. It is a free bootcamp, absolutely. And if you wish to start an entire profession into it, you can't miss this, because by the end of it, if you've done well, you can probably, get placed with some of the good projects that we have partnered up for placements, right? So yeah, guys, so see you all at Substrate Saturday, and I hope you all make it big out there. Now, guys, let's get things going. So now, why is an ape getting sold for millions, or why is a 13-year-old becoming a billionaire overnight? So there's so much more to NFTs than the world doubts today. And that's what we are here to find out, right? NFTs have evolved, but how and why? Let's hear from 3 really big launchpad leaders on Polkadot that have really changed the NFT game. So starting off with, did you know that there was a platform that connects the Polkadot ecosystem to Ethereum, Cosmos, and all major level 1 blockchains? So Astar Network is one such multi-chain smart contract platform. It supports multiple blockchains and virtual machines. And what they do is with NFTs is going to really amaze you. And who we have with us tonight is the ecosystems development head, Maarten Henskens. So Maarten, it's an absolute honor to have you with us today. And they're all yours, and we are all yours to see what you have to share with us.
Okay, cool. First, can you say that you can hear me and everything is fine on my end?
Yes, absolutely, Maarten. We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Let me start with sharing my screen. Can you also let me know if you see my screen?
We can see your screen, Maarten.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So thanks a lot for introducing me. Thanks a lot for the introduction. Thanks a lot for having me here on DotFriday. Looking forward to talking with all those, not only students, but also developers. So I will give you first an introduction about Astar, what is Astar and what set us apart from other parachains. And then I will talk a little bit about the NFT space inside of Polkadot channel. Like what can make Polkadot different regarding NFTs. And with this, I will give you a use case built around XCM. XCM is the new feature that is launched recently on Polkadot, currently already live and being utilized on different parachains. So I will give you like a use case that will be possible regarding NFTs with XCM on Polkadot and how Polkadot can make a difference regarding NFTs. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Maarten. I'm the head of ecosystem development at Astar, of Astar. It depends on which language you speak and how to pronounce it. I always call it Astar. So other people call it Astar, so it doesn't matter. So my background is I had computer science. I've also been a teacher. I've been founder from a company here in Belgium. I live in Belgium. I like working in blockchain because you can be like that traveling nomad and work inside the Web3 ecosystem all over the world. And that makes me so excited about this. To give you an overview about Astar, so we became the third parachain on Polkadot. It went live. We raised a lot of DOT during the Cloud Loan festival that we had. We also have a sister network on Kusama. This is called a Shiden network. And we recently extended our slot because the first lease period was already over, and we now have the second lease period running. So what is Astar? Astar is basically a smart contract hub on Polkadot. We are a parachain. We are providing multi-virtual machines, not only EVM, but also WASM. We have been very happy to connect with different kind of layer one blockchain outside of Polkadot. With this is Cosmos. We are working with Avalanche as well, and so forth. I will just go over this like quickly because I only have 20 minutes and I have so much to tell you guys. So I need to, sometimes I go over this very fast, but you can always check our website in case you want to know more specifics about other use cases at Astar. So this is an overview about our ecosystem. We are working with a lot of tooling partners. Why a lot of tooling partners? Because we are a smart contract platform, meaning that we have to make sure that all tools are available for projects to build their application on us. As you can see, the most famous ones are already there. Like we have Truffle, we have oracles, we have indexes. We are working with other standardized smart contracts like Super Colony that are doing a great job as well in the ecosystem and so on. So we made sure that the infrastructure is there at Astar regarding building on us with different kind of languages as the EVM and WASM. Before diving into the NFTs, I want to also tell you a little bit about the limitations of the old. What I mean with this, and with this I mean the current problem that we are facing, and that's basically at this point EVM and isolated blockchains. Why I'm saying EVM? EVM it's still so important, and I want to emphasize this to everyone. EVM is needed. I'm not here to say EVM is bad. No, not at all. EVM is still the king of in blockchain, but it has its limitations. As you can see here, I described some of the limitations. I will not go over them individually because it's very technical, but why is EVM still very important? It's still king in when it comes to dApp development. And so many networks are still using EVM. The simple answer is because of the developer ecosystem. there are so many tools, so many examples, so many materials, so many communities behind it. Solidity is basically the gateway for many new dApp developers. And because most blockchains with high liquidity support EVM, it makes it difficult for new layer 1 blockchains to ignore them. Yes, but there are also solutions made for this. And one of that solutions that we are creating in the Astar ecosystem is WASM. Overall, the limitations of EVM makes it very challenging for every Solidity dApp developer to create a complex use case. With more advanced use cases, smart contracts demands more complexity. This is where the WASM-based smart contracts comes in. WASM is technically a binary instruction format, and it also runs on a stack-based virtual machine, and implements instructions such as V8. But for the general public and in this context, when we say WASM, we refer to a generic virtual machine that executes WASM instructions. WASM or WebAssembly is a common standard for execution native level operations from the browser environment. Why is this so important? The development of WebAssembly is led by industry leaders. So who is currently working on the development of WebAssembly or WASM? That's Google, Microsoft, Mozilla, Apple, and many more. So the power of WASM or WebAssembly, you can run any hardware incentive work such as game from the browser with near native level performance. Having said this, this is like the future as well with NFTs, for using NFTs in blockchain games or using complex NFTs utilities that really needs the scalability. And this is currently a blocker with EVM. And we think that WASM or WebAssembly smart contracts can solve this kind of problem. And that can be the standard for future NFTs use cases as well. So in this slide that you now see here, you see like having WebAssembly together with blockchains. Basically, you have Substrate with Ink. Substrate, the framework for Polkadot, and Ink, the language designed by Dr. Gavin, who's the founder of Polkadot. So let me go to the next slides. So here you can see one of the major advantages of using WASM. It can compile from different kind of languages. Why we still believe that WASM is like so powerful for smart contracts, because not only it compiles from different languages, but it can be the gateway for a whole new range of developers coming into the Web3 space. Why is this? Because if you look at major IPs, major already gaming industries and so on, they already got like developers building with certain languages. And those languages can easily be compiled into WASM. And that WASM can be compiled into WASM smart contracts and can be deployed on the blockchain. So a major company doesn't need to look for blockchain developers, but can actually use their inside developer team at that moment to already gain access into the blockchain. And this can be great for new games coming out, finding big partners coming into the blockchain with NFTs and so on as well. Another solution that we at Astar bring is dApp staking. This can be very interesting for all those developers who are now listening in. So with dApp staking, we have a mechanism designed where users can stake on applications or on NFT collections in our network. And you as a developer or as an artist can earn staking rewards based on this. So this is another way of incentivize those people who are building inside of our network. This is like an example of how it looks. This is an example of the wallets that we are working with. I can say, check out our website to understand more about dApp staking. Check out our website to understand more about how we utilize WASM, how we also integrate with EVM and the toolings that are available. So this, what I just did now is giving you a short overview about Astar. What I'm now going to tell you is the third solution, and the one that I want to use my time for during this presentation of how NFTs can be, or how Polkadot can be the future for NFTs. And with this, I come to my third solution, and that's the XCM. So XCM is one of the core features in the Polkadot ecosystem. Every parachain connected to the relay chain can benefit not only the shared security, but also XCM, cross-chain messaging parsing. We at Astar, we see the future of blockchain to be more integrated with each other. Blockchains will grow not just based on their ecosystem or the utility within the application, but to the utility that they can provide to other blockchains. We will see less competition within the same blockchains, but more cooperation between networks and communities. We want Astar network to be like the hub of innovation, that project that can be written in various languages and use features from other parachains to create unique experience. We want to have applications built on us that are using parachains as a service to build on top of us. So I have thought about a use case of Advanced NFT with XCM and what the future can bring for this. It can be very technical, but we will soon at Astar release our vision regarding XCM, where everything is more well written and very explainable for everyone to understand how we see our vision of XCM inside the Polkadot ecosystem. And with this, I want to give you like an example, and that's like a universal NFT marketplace using Statement, using Affinity, using Unique Network, using other NFT projects currently already built in the .sama ecosystem. So one of the major problems with Polkadot ecosystem at this moment, it's very highly fragmented standards among projects, especially in NFTs. Why is this? Because Substrate framework already supports EVM standards, supports WASM contract standards, and also different kind of palette level NFTs. To be precise, currently we have the Substrate Uniques palette, we have the ORML NFT palette, we have the ERC 721 on EVM, we have the PSP 34 on WASM contracts, and several custom-made NFT palettes from certain networks, like what Remark is doing, like what the Unique Network is doing. So all those standards are not compatible with one and each other in a traditional sense, and the users will have a hard time managing all those NFTs from all those different kind of places. As well as developers will have problems trying to create a generic solutions for managing all NFTs throughout the ecosystem. This is because before XCM, parachains and projects in the Polkadot ecosystem were very isolated, without any need of palette standardization. This is something that I also mentioned in the problems, the isolated blockchains. And this was before XCM. This was when Polkadot, when Kusama launched, there was just the isolated blockchain. Everyone was working on their utility, everyone was working on their use cases, and everyone was also at that moment isolated. But now with XCM, we can bring it all together. And because of the lack of the standardization, this allows projects to customize and rethink the fundamental concept of NFT to create some kind of innovative solution. And this hurts interoperability in the long run. For example, we have like an NFT minted on a parachain, which uses a unique NFT palette and has custom functionalities, and only those functionalities will be available on that network. So the moment you teleport that NFT to another parachain, it will lose the functionalities, and basically it will lose all the utility and features behind it. And with XCM and advanced XCM later on, where this will be released as well, this can all be solved, and this can all be, all the NFTs from all those different places can be just used and built together. Let me give you like an overview about a diagram I created, how it can look like. This, you see a lot of maybe difficult understanding, difficult technical naming or identifications here, but I will try to do my best to make this diagram explainable, so you can guys understand what I'm trying to create here with an idea about the marketplace. So our Astar network is a blockchain that supports multiple smart contracts environments. We have EVM and we have WASM. we also have multiple standards. So we believe that a Star network is capable of becoming the common denominator for various NFTs throughout the ecosystem. And we believe that there's a way to gather all NFTs in the ecosystem into a single universal marketplace that allows anyone to trade, sell, and purchase NFT from a Star network without losing any custom functionalities that are only available on that certain chain. I'm not talking in the we sentence, but basically this is just a use case and an idea that can be built. So this gives, I want to give like inspiration to developers who are listening here to see the features that will be available with XCM and how you can be now at the starting point of XCM and creating that unique dApp Web3 application that can be used later on in the long term on Polkadot. So this use case is not something that I'm telling you now that is currently in development. No, it's just an idea how XCM can be used. So let's say we have an NFT marketplace tab and it supports NFTs in both WASM and EVM. In this case, we are bringing ERC-721 NFTs from a foreign chain to the Astar marketplace and can easily teleport those NFTs because with the ERC-721, there's nothing especially behind that or special utilities behind this. You can easily teleport those smart contracts through the ecosystem. Alternatively, the NFT marketplace tab could start to integrate directly with the other chain without other chain and so become like a multi-chain marketplace. And the same can be with the PSP34 NFTs. This is like, so the ERC-721 is Solidity smart contracts and the PSP34 is the WASM smart contracts, both standards for the NFTs, basic NFTs smart contracts. However, in this applicable for NFTs that are stored on the pallet level without losing certain features or creating a cost, without losing those features, we need to do something else. So if you look at the diagram here, so if you want to use like remark NFTs, if you want to use the unique palettes, if you want to use NFTs into the metaverse, it's not just teleporting because otherwise you will lose these special features that NFT has. So how can this be solved? Let me just look back. So if we use XCM, the way to enable a full marketplace access without losing any custom features of the foreign network, we can do this by creating an XCM NFT controller contract that shares the PSP34 and the 1155 interface. So the controller contract will contain the asset metadata and ownership data of the NFT that exists in the foreign network state, and effectively create a shallow copy to the original asset on a Star network. So the owner of the original NFT can sign the transaction for the controller contract, and this will initiate a remote transfer on the foreign parent chain, which the original exists, which the original NFT exists, and transfer the NFT on behalf of the owner, and the controller contract will change the owner of the asset accordingly. Like I was saying, this is very difficult maybe for students now to see where all those standards that I'm saying here now, but we have very high quality documentation that will explain all those standards as well. So the way we have the full metadata of the NFT and the ownership proof in those smart contracts compatible format on a Star network. So users can interact with NFTs from various networks with the same account without losing the unique features the NFT might have since the ownership of the original assets. So it will be the same as the mirrored ownership on our network, on a Star network. Furthermore, developers will only have to integrate with the Star RPC and implement the PSP34, the 1155, and the ERC-721 interface to access all the NFTs throughout the Polkadot ecosystem. So, but this, like what I'm saying here, or what you see now in this diagram, is just the tip of the iceberg on how developers on a Star network can leverage the power of XCM. This is what I'm saying here is on smart contract level and on pallet level, but this can also be on other things. You can see this as well with the NFT Fi. You can have an NFT minted on a Star network and added liquidity from Moonbeam or Hydra X with your NFT as well. This is also utilizing the XCM in the Polkadot ecosystem. But like I was saying, it's just the tip of the iceberg what will be possible with using the power of XCM and how parachains can work together to create an innovative one-of-a-kind dApp. So with the right tools, with the right mindset and progress from the ecosystem, we believe that this will be the future for dApps in networks of blockchains and create Polkadot ecosystem the place to be for NFTs. We are still in the early phases of XCM. We are still opening channels with other parachains as well. So we are opening channels with we had Astar with Moonbeam, with Akala, other NFT parachains as well. And then later on in the longer term, everyone will see the fully use case of XCM with NFTs. And we think that with WASM, smart contracts, with XCM, Polkadot really can be the place for all NFTs being built in blockchain ecosystems. I said everything that I wanted to say. So if you're interested in knowing more about the Astar network, feel free to visit the Startup Network. Are you a developer and want to build with us? See our website, find more information about our Builders program, how we can support you with building your application, building your dApp on a Astar network. We are more than happy to provide you with all the information. We are more than happy to provide you with all the support needed. So thanks a lot for the organization of Polkadot India for having me here.
Yeah.
And I wish everyone a great weekend as well to end this up.
Sure. Thanks, Maarten. This was very crisp and clear. I think you have pretty much covered all aspects that you're covering at Astar. We have a couple of questions for you, though, from the audience. If we can take it one by one. Yeah. So,
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Great. The first one is by Greg from Unique Networks. So he says, so WebAssembly is used to write smart contracts. The language is called Ink. It generates smart contract binary in WebAssembly for most parachains if they support EVM. You can also write smart contracts in Solidity. I think it's more of a statement, right? Greg?
Yeah, so indeed. Yeah. So what Greg is saying, indeed. So the language that we support for the WASM is Ink, the language that written by Gavin Wood as well. So what's currently, so the Ink is, or the contract platform parity can actually be integrated by all parachains if they want. The current situation now with Ink and the WASM in general on Polkadot is that it's missing some tooling to be used as well. So this is something that we are now focusing on, creating those toolings for the WebAssembly smart contracts. And indeed, you can also write WebAssembly with Solidity. You can compile them with Solana. So if you have a Solidity contract, you compile your contract into WebAssembly. It still has some limitations because not everything will be discovered with Solana, but it's possible to do so. Yes.
Yeah. I think I kind of misunderstood also, like, thanks for adding on to that. So Greg was also responding to someone. So great. I think both of you have really helped someone today. Another question we have here is if you can give us some of your views on XCM, Maarten.
My views of XCM is basically XCM, how it's designed, how it's written out, is really the infrastructure that can be used for how I see Web3 being built. That's why I'm saying, like, so how XCM is using, so as you know, Polkadot with the relay chain is connecting all those blockchains together. We see it as like, if you want to build a dApp that will utilize all the utilities from all the other parachains, that's why I'm calling it more like a parachain as a service. If you want to have like a dApp and you want to use Kilt for the compliance, you can integrate with Kilt and get this done. If you want the special NFTs with the special use cases, you can call Unique Networks palette. If you want interaction with another dApp that is built on Moonbeam, you can interact with that asset from Moonbeam. It's like XCM will be there to help the Web3 being evolved, and the end user will never see this or will not feel this in the same way because everything will be in the backend. But I think the vision is around XCM can really be like the layer that will be there for Web3, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay. Great. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll just avoid a couple of questions which are a little generic. Akhilesh asked, why are NFTs so expensive? Like, there are so many reasons to it, but Maarten, since you're one of the global leaders out here, so what is your take on the values of NFTs today on a personal level? Yeah.
I see NFTs like art. Why is a painting of Van Gogh so expensive? It's the market that's deciding the price. That's the same with NFTs. Why is some NFTs more expensive? Because the market will pay for that NFT, and that's what makes it so expensive. Most NFT collections, I see them more as art, but when I was saying like more in the future for NFTs, it's all about the utility the NFT can bring that will give you the value of the NFT.
Yeah.
We still have a long way to go, but yeah.
Okay, super. Very subjective again. The next one is by Fahad, if I'm not wrong. What's the benefit of compiling Solidity smart contract to WASM?
Difficult to tell now because it depends on what kind of contract you want to compile from Solidity to WASM. It also depends what kind of use cases you want to have with your smart contract as well. So it's all based on the use cases and the complexity you want to have in your smart contracts. If you want to build on the WASM environment, you can compile your Solidity contract to WebAssembly. But if you really are making like a unique application, a unique dApp built with WASM, check out the ink documentation that's currently available on Substrate and just try to understand the language of Rust, try to understand the language of ink to see like the real power that can be behind it that's currently the EVM limitations has.
Okay, that's great sense. Okay, we have a couple of more. Where did this go? Okay, with AI integrations now in the picture, Maarten, the NFT market is set to open up new opportunities for users in decentralized markets. What are your views on this?
My views on this, I think AI and NFTs is still like very early. So there's still so much that can be happening with this. So yeah, I'm more of the person that let's try to build it and let's wait and see how it goes, because the possibilities are endless. And yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, on that note, the following question actually is interesting, but what are the most sought after NFT features, Maarten?
Can you rephrase the question, please?
What are the most sought after NFT features like in the current market scenario? So if NFTs have specific features that are highlighted that sell the most, so what are those most sought after? Is it design or is it, what is it in your eyes?
In my eyes, so I like art. I like artists that are doing something great with NFTs. That's okay. I'm totally fine with it. I know that there are like great manga IPs as well who are doing like great NFTs designs and great NFTs. But for me, it's all about the utility that an NFT can bring for me personally to use it. This can be like several use cases that are available. You can use it as token gating. You can use it as a social pass. You can use it for so many things. You can use it for giving a fan of you extra benefits by coming to a concert or things. I don't know, so many things. But for me, an NFT and blockchain is all about utility. I do admire all those artists as well. I don't want to exclude them. But for me, I prefer having or using NFTs with great utilities behind it. What can it be? It depends on. I want to use an NFT that I can use in my daily life in general with my wallet. That's what I want to have.
Great. I think that makes absolute sense, some purpose to it. So thanks, Maarten. I think this is it from our end. It was just lovely having you out here. I think we'll stay in touch for more we can do together with Astar as a partner. And yeah, wishing you and the entire Astar team all the luck for the exciting times ahead of you.
Thanks a lot for having me, Anaya. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Maarten. Guys, a reminder, follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. Like the pinned post, which is about the upcoming Substrate Bootcamp, and tag us at _ India, as well as 2 of your non-follower friends. And 5 of you lucky guys are going to get the much-loved Polkadot hampers, right? Now, we are back with another quiz this time, and we'll be shooting out 3 questions about NFTs throughout the evening, and the top 3 answers of each round get dots dropped on them straight into their wallets, right? So why don't we just start right away, where top 3 winners for this particular question get 20 USDT worth of dot each. So to answer, what you'll have to do is follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. Again, post your answer A, B, C, or D. You'll be given 4 options, and tag us with _ India, and cross your fingers, guys. Yeah. So can we have the first question? Yeah. So guys, the first question's on your screen. Visa Inc. purchased the NFT for 49.5 ETH in a show of support for NFTs and cryptocurrency, right? So that's A, Subduck, B, CryptoPunk, C, Cryptocurrency, or D, Pugdy Penguin. Which of these did Visa Inc. purchase for 49.5 ETH in a show of support for NFTs and cryptocurrency? So answer with A, B, C, or D, guys, on Twitter, and tag us at _ India, right? So giving you exactly 20 seconds to go for it. Right. Now, Unique Network is a scalable blockchain for composable NFTs with advanced economies. It is the NFT chain built for Polkadot and Kusama. Now, our second genius tonight is the CTO of this highly successful project, Greg Zaitsev, who's in and out researched the high-level technical view of climate impact of NFTs, and also a lot more on CO2 emissions. Now, I sure can't wait to hear this aspect of the arena. So welcome, Greg, and we are all ears to all you have to share with us tonight.
Hello. Yes, thanks for inviting me. So this is very sensitive topic for many people, because they are, well, we see there is a lot of NFT activity recently, especially within last year, and creating many NFTs. Well, it certainly affects us, but we don't know what do we do with when we mint an NFT. What does it really mean? Let's see what we create, what are upsides and downsides, and how we can make our lives better. I'll start with the mining map. This is Cambridge University data as of March. The champion in mining is the United States. They mine probably 35% of proof of work cryptocurrencies. Surprisingly, the second place is taken by Kazakhstan. That takes 18%. I think it's partially because many Chinese miners have had to escape the country because China banned cryptocurrencies, and the closest country were Russia and US and Kazakhstan. Number 3 is Russia. Number 4 is Canada. So these countries use different sources of energy, of course, and not all of them use equally green energy sources. A lot of nuclear power is being used, like you see in the if you average out the power produced by the source, if you weight by the source, you see there's probably about 10 or 11% is produced by nuclear power, which sounds dangerous, but it doesn't produce any CO2. We are good in this. Also, there is a lot of renewable energy used. Mainly, these are hydroelectric stations. Again, Russia, Canada, and USA, all 3 of them use a lot of renewable energy. Then natural gas comes in as so we see the natural gas produces some CO2 footprint. Yes, of course, it's not that much. It's not as much as the coal would produce, but it's still somewhat sensible. We can see some impact here already, and the champion is coal. Mostly Kazakhstan has that input because they use a lot of coal in energy production. So it comes to probably about 27 or something percent of using of footprint comes from coal, and petroleum produces even more CO2, but because we use it so little petroleum to produce energy, we can neglect it in this equation. And the other sources are not so significant. They're negligibly small, so I wouldn't even consider them here because they wouldn't change this picture so much. But let's see Ethereum Ethereum annual consumption. So if you look at this number I have here, it's equal to 107 terawatt hours. So that's how much energy Ethereum consumes every year. Let's see what it means in terms of minting one NFT. If you take an average smart contract, ERC-721, without much additional features, many additional features, without much doing in terms of data or maybe some computation that's related to mining an NFT, just plain creation, it produces probably about 90 kilograms of CO2. Going further, one transfer of Ethereum on Ethereum, one NFT transfer produces about 48 kilograms. That means you can ride an average sedan for about 200 kilometers. That's already, but that's very impressive number. It's actually minting one NFT is more than an average human weight. This is a lot. And this is just produced in one single transaction and in short 15 seconds. Just if you think about it, it's very damaging because there are lots of NFTs. It's only one that produces 90 kilos. For example, I've been to NFT conference in Lisbon in March. They were using NFTs as entry tickets, and collectively, people who visited this conference minted 1,158 NFTs, which was equivalent to 110 metric tons of CO2. And the story doesn't stop here, because NFTs keep being transferred. Keep being transferred from, they keep changing hands, which means every transfer still produces about 50 kilos of CO2. Let's distract a little bit. There is an artist. His name is Johnny Lemercier. He's been working. I call it sad story, but it's really it really has a happy end, because he ended up using proof of stake networks. But let's see how he came up to this conclusion. He was initially the conventional artist. He was painting his artwork on the physical carrier, on the physical paper or canvas, and he was bringing it to the exhibitions physically, and then he calculated that every time he comes to an exhibition, he needs to buy an airplane ticket, which means he is going to travel that airplane, and that airplane is going to burn the fuel, which produces a lot of CO2. He says, okay, I'm not going to travel anymore. I'm going to use digital NFTs, digital art. And after he made this decision, he spent about 2 years accounting for every piece of energy his studio was using. He was saving energy. He didn't use a lot of light or a lot of electric power. And after he created a bunch of images, he decided to mint an NFT. Guess what happened at this point? He created one NFT, and the next thing he realized, he just burned, or he just neglected the 2 years of energy savings, and he consumed actually more energy than he would consume his his whole studio would consume in 2 years. He got really disappointed. But then, yes, like I said, he decided, yes, let's use proof of stake networks. Let me show you what this really means. So what is proof of stake? How is it different from proof of work? Proof of work is a type of consensus for the network that that uses hash power to create blocks, like Ethereum or Bitcoin. There's a bunch of them. The biggest problem with proof of work networks is that they need to have a lot of compute power, and they consume a lot of energy because of that. So the proof of stake is different in the sense that in order to author a block, the miner doesn't need to do any work. They actually need to prove that they own something, they have something at stake. If they mine a block and modify it in some malignant way, trying to take advantage of something, they will lose their stake, which means that becomes non-profitable for them. It's they have a negative profit. So this is using the stake here is kind of a proof that the miners wouldn't cheat. So that's why it's called proof of stake. If I own something, I can participate in that consensus. Ethereum 2.0 is close to being released, but unfortunately, it's not that big of a relief. Yes, of course, it's so much better. So annual consumption for the Ethereum 2.0 is projected to be around 70 gigawatt hours, which is much better than 107 terawatts. It's more than 1,000 times better. But yet still it's a bit inefficient because of the way Ethereum 2.0 is designed. They reduced, in order to improve the decentralization, they reduced the amount that the minimum amount that validator should have at stake, that miner should have at stake, which is equal to 32 ETH. If you have 32 ETH, you can become a miner or validator. But the ideal number of validators in the network is thought of to be sometime in a range of 1 million. Right now, it has around 300,000. Yes, these are very small machines compared to miners or hash ASICs. They consume much less energy, but there has to be 1 million of them. 1 million is a significant number. That's why we come to this still huge number of 70 gigawatt hours. If you recalculate it into NFT mints, it's 45 grams of NFT of CO2, which is equivalent to a few full charges of a smartphone. Not terrible, again, so it's not kilograms or not human weight, but it's still significant. So 45 grams is still a lot. It's the next networks that proof of stake networks that come to mind are Tezos and Polkadot. And why I don't put any other networks here, any other proof of stake, just because they are approximately the same. They produce the same amount of, or they consume the same amount of energy annually. The only difference between Tezos and Polkadot is that they have a little different mechanisms of consensus, and especially when it comes to or consensus, or actually energy consumption per transaction. Like here in Tezos, we will consume just 1 gram of produce 1 gram of CO2, which is equivalent to shooting 1 hour video. Or in Polkadot, there are actually no NFTs on Polkadot, because Polkadot is a relay chain. Relay chain is a chain that will host parachains that actually can produce NFTs or handle NFTs like Unique, but Polkadot itself doesn't. But even if it had NFTs, just recalculating proportionally this number, I would get 500ths of a gram. which is equivalent for breathing 4 short seconds, which is already much better, of course. But again, it's still not ideal. Let's see how much better we can do. And here I'm going to talk about the Polkadot parachains a little more. See how the parachains and what the parachains are and how they work. In the center of this, there is a relay chain, which is Polkadot or Kusama. And I've seen somebody asking me what's the difference between Polkadot and Kusama. They're very similar, except Kusama goes a little bit ahead of Polkadot, and Kusama is the parity calls it the wild cousin of Polkadot, which basically makes it the experimental network. It still has value. It's not a test net. Kusama costs even more than DOT if you take per unit, not per capitalization. But they are very similar, yes. And the heart of it is a relay chain that hosts many parachains. The relay chain consists of multiple validators. There's up to 1,000 validators per relay, but only 5 to 10 validators serve one parachain, which means if we are a parachain, we consume not the whole. You can blame us for consuming not the whole power of the relay chain, but only 1/10 or even 1/20th fraction of it. Also, the parachain doesn't need to have many nodes. They are called collators. These are nodes that produce parachain blocks, and also the parachains can have optimization for NFTs. Like Maarten mentioned in his previous speech, that Uni has custom NFT palette, and yes, we do have custom NFT palette only because we'd like to be scalable and optimized for NFT transactions. Yes, you can run ERC-721 on Unique or on Moonbeam or any parachain that enables EVM, but it wouldn't be so as optimal as having a custom palette, because custom palette runs in native code. It's written in Rust, and basically it's as close to hardware as possible, to be close to hardware with a blockchain, so it comes to a very lean numbers. This is a logarithmic schedule. I'm sorry, logarithmic scale, where I put the CO2 emission and for transfer transaction in blue and for mint transaction in red. You see here's that number of it's in micrograms, so it's over 10 million micrograms for Ethereum 2.0. That's by order of magnitude better for Tezos and Polkadot. These are probably about the same. Polkadot is a bit better, but just because of the consensus algorithm. And here on the 4th place, there is a Unique or any other parachain that would do the same thing. We produce so little CO2 or consume so little energy that even on logarithmic scale it turns to be very small bar here. Again, this happens because we see parachains can be very efficient. They can consume only a fraction of energy, and we can optimize for NFT transactions specifically. So if you make a short breath and exhale, you would produce the same amount of energy as if I would making 30 NFTs on Unique. So this is already significant improvement. So we can mint good numbers of NFTs on parachains without concerning that you affect environment. Yeah, it talks about the current technology. Proof of stake is very ancient technology, and it should be improved. It doesn't mean it does anything useful for us. It's just consuming a lot of energy. And yes, currently most of the NFTs are being produced and sold on Ethereum only because Ethereum has the greatest community. If you'd like to verify what I was talking about, please feel free. There are some references, and here's the QR code for my deck and a few links. Let's have some questions if you'd like.
Great. I think this was really nice, Greg. A lot of detailing into the very fundamental aspects of how things work on Polkadot. So yeah, I think guys, chat is open. So if you have any questions for Greg, you can shoot right away. Meanwhile, we have a couple already in, Greg. So this one's first. So now that we are working on saving the environment and making things better, so do you think the governance is going to get easier? Do you think the various economies are going to start accepting Web3 or the crypto environment more easily now that we are also helping make the world a better place?
I certainly hope so. We are working with UN on the climate initiative. I hope this will help as well. But yes, certainly the governments should definitely look into using NFTs only because NFTs have so many great use cases. It's not only art or gaming, it's also or collections. They can be applied anywhere you see some unique stuff.
Absolutely. Nice. Also, Greg, so what differently did Unique Network do with its tech? If you may subtly suggest, like, of course, not giving away your trade secrets, but maybe how different is Unique, or what is its USP as compared to the other top parachains who are offering similar environments?
We don't have any trade secrets. Can't disclose any here. We're not much different than other parachains. Only that maybe we are trying to place the things we do first and marketing and every other activity second. Right. If we say we've done something, we've done it. We even started our existence with achieving, we're completing five grants for parity, right, which was the second highest record for parity, to give 5 grants to one company.
Wow.
I only think we had this success because we were finishing things.
Oh, that's absolutely great. So I think that's about it from us, Greg. So we don't have too many questions. I guess it was really clear from your end. So we'll take off then. And thanks, Greg, for being a part of this.
Thanks again for having me.
You were saying, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I just said thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much, Greg. And thank you, guys. And any more questions for Greg, even later, if you want to go back, check out what Unique Network has to offer and how differently they're doing things. You can always get back to us, and we can always direct it to Greg and get back to you with the right answers, right? So moving on, guys. Again, I will give you a reminder, if you can, follow us if you haven't already, and like and retweet what we have pinned right now about the Substrate Bootcamp. That would be great, because you'll be getting about 5 hampers coming your way. Right. So also let's go up to the next quiz question, please. So we can start off with the next quiz, the second question, where again the top 3 answers will get 20 USDT worth of dot each. Okay, so the second question on your screen right now, that's when was the first NFT created? That's A, May 2016, B, March 2014, C, May 2014, or D, September 2015. Guys, tweet your answers with A, B, C, or D. Tag us at _Polkadot India, and we shall get in touch with you if you've made it, right? Okay, so moving on, what we have next is pretty much going to blow your mind away, because this is a project, if you're a gamer or if you have been in the Web3 environment, this is a project you would have definitely heard of. So this is something we've been looking forward to. EnjinStarter is a blockchain gaming launchpad that's focused on growing the engine ecosystem. as well as the metaverse. And beyond issuing tokens, what they do is provide the game developers a way to explore their innovative ways and raising capital to fund their projects through the sale of virtual items or other NFTs. Right. And who we have today is none other than the very co-founder and the CEO of this brilliant launchpad. And he sure has something mind-blowing to share with us. Prakash, it's an absolute honor having you with us today, and they're all yours.
Ananya, thank you very much for the opportunity. Firstly, my PowerPoint just refuses to work, so I'm just going to walk you guys through what I meant to share. I'm due to go on a holiday tomorrow, but I think my PowerPoint decided it's going to go on holiday just before me. So sorry about it. So yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. EnjinStarter is a launchpad that's focused on blockchain gaming, entertainment, as well as the metaverse. We are at this point of time the only launchpad on the Engine ecosystem, and we're very, very excited about Infinity, and we're definitely going to be building a whole lot of infrastructure, and we're definitely looking at leveraging the cross-chain capacity and capability of what Infinity is going to offer. If you guys are not familiar, Infinity is the new blockchain that Engine is launching, and it's, they're creating a new standard for NFTs known as paratokens. I was given an opportunity to invest in Infinity some time ago, and when I read the white paper, it blew my mind, and that's kind of when I assembled a team. Started EnjinStarter in April last year. We got Engine to invest in us, which was great support, and we worked very, very closely with them. Right. So coming back to today's topic, I know a lot of people were asking about what the true value of NFTs are. The way that we see it today is NFTs are providing us to actually own a piece of culture, right? Especially for a lot of us who are grown in this digital asset industry or in the crypto space. We relate with a lot of the cultural aspects that's happening at this point of time. And when we actually participate in a PFP project, it's primarily because we have a sense of belonging. And this also allows us to actually participate in a community, right? So I don't hold any blue chip NFTs myself, but I'm actually heading to New York for NFT NYC in June. And they will be organizing something known as Ape Fest. So what I'm doing is I'm leasing NFT from one of my close associates. And that will actually give me access to what is known as Ape Fest, which is their global event. And why do I need to be there, right? I do need to understand what's going on within these communities. I personally am part of a community known as the Lazy Lions, and having participated in them since the beginning at Mint to where they are today, the power that these NFTs has given me is a sense of identity as well as an access to a community that's very, very excited about working together to actually develop the community together, right? Exactly like what you guys have today with Polkadot India. When I logged in, I saw like 600 people logged in at the same time. I can tell that the community is really, really passionate. And that's exactly what's happening with the entire NFT space at this point in time, right? Now starting off with an access, what a lot of these NFTs at this point in time offer is actually a membership, right? A lot of these communities are now going from just being purely virtual or on Discord to offline, right? We're seeing a lot of communities creating their own clubhouses in the US, and it's also starting here in Singapore where I'm based. And we expect this to actually start proliferating globally. You'll see clubhouses that will be created where NFTs will actually provide you access into these communities. And this would also be something that will be transferable, which means that the value that you have created through this membership can actually be translated from one wallet to another wallet, which means that the value that you have put in is something that you would be able to read, right? And what this really offers us today is a modern day flex, right? For a lot of us who actually live in this digital world, you can't show off other than being part of these communities. And once people realize that you're actually part of these communities, it brings some reputational benefits and also some recognition within the community, right? So that's again another benefit that we see the current generation of NFTs bringing about, and where this is actually going to bring us to. It's actually giving us a digital identity, right? The work that we do online, the work that we do in communities, the work that we invest will soon be recognized through these NFTs. In time to come, when you attend events, you would be able to collect NFTs, and they are called POAPs, or proof of active participation, right? So for every event that you go, you would be able to collect these NFTs. These NFTs could be upgraded to give you special benefits like behind the scenes, or even being able to meet some of the speakers at an event. But it's one way that event organizers would be able to recognize the effort that each one of us is putting into the ecosystem. And this is where true value gets recognized, right? Sometimes with some of these POAPs, you can't buy them, but you can only earn them through active participation by contributing into the community and also being involved by physically or virtually attending some of these events. We're definitely seeing a whole lot of benefits with NFTs in entertainment. We personally have invested into a whole lot of projects where musicians, artists, movie producers are now using NFTs to actually create a new level of fan engagement. And fan engagement is something that we all are excited about. We all want to have a personal connection with our idols, and musicians and artists themselves do want this, right? They want to have a personal relationship with their artists, their fans, and now NFTs would be able to provide this level of interaction, right? And all this will collectively bring us into the metaverse. Eventually, when we all start to meet more in the metaverse than in Web2 platforms, these NFTs would become our digital identity. A lot of the 2D NFTs that we currently own and are part of those communities will eventually evolve into 3D avatars that would actually represent us. And when in future, when you actually start walking in a metaverse, people will actually start recognizing you for the work and participation that you actually put into some of these NFT communities that exist today, right? So this is where we are today. This is where we call it level 1. We've got the opportunity of working very closely with the Engine team, and the Engine team is responsible for creating the ERC 1155 standard, and that's one of the primary reasons why we're so dedicated to the Engine ecosystem, because we believe that these guys are the original pioneers in the space, and they have a big vision into what are the various applications that the NFTs will provide in future, right? One of the key things that Web3 is all about, it's all about digital ownership, right? The big mistake that you and I and all of us here on the call made during Web2 is that we worked on multiple platforms because it's free. We started spending a lot of time on it, and we started giving away our data very freely, thinking because the platform is free, we can give away everything for free. Unfortunately, they used our data to become trillion-dollar companies or multi-billion-dollar companies without really giving us any of the economic value. And this is where Web3 is coming, especially the decentralized Web3. And this is where we would actually have full ownership of our data. And this data would give us access to a whole lot of communities, and we can decide how is it that we want to participate with certain brands or certain advertisers, right? This is where we actually share information with them in a very willing way, and they actually give us tokens in return for actually assessing our data. And that's where we actually see a lot of data or NFT 2.0 coming in. The NFT would become that store of value that would allow us to actually store our digital data footprints when we are online in a safe and secure manner. And we decide how is it that we're going to be sharing this data into a whole lot of communities. right? The other key thing that we are seeing is the application of AI in NFTs. We call this NFT 2.0, where the NFTs acquire a certain amount of intelligence. And as the more that we play these games, the better these NFTs become, right? So one of the projects that EnjinStarter has supported, it's a project called Altered State Machines. It's a project that is out of New Zealand. And we've seen them use this in a whole lot of applications, including in football, including in entertainment. And this is where the NFT can evolve. The more that we actually use it, the more that we actually send the NFT into a virtual environment, it learns about our behavior, and it actually starts to evolve itself, right? This is where we actually see that NFTs eventually would become a digital companion to each one of us. It would become a reminder to us about our digital habits. If we're spending too much time online, it could become a reminder to tell us that it's time for us to unplug, spend more time with nature, spend more time with our family, and actually help us become better versions of ourselves, right? Thirdly, we see an application for this next generation of NFTs in health. For example, for myself, right, I need to lose weight, and a lot of the data that belongs to me sits on my iPhone, right? But eventually, this data could be on an NFT that I own. It can be trained to do a whole lot of things. It can be trained to remind me about walking 10,000 steps a day, and it's not just a reminder, but actually enabling me to actually do it. And if I don't do it, I won't be able to unlock a whole lot of my digital habits, right? So these are things that can be trained to be done. And lastly, from a gaming perspective, we see NFTs playing a role of non-player characters, right? Or we call them NPCs, where they can actually participate in this digital ecosystem. We can own these characters. We can send them into the metaverse. We can send them into gaming environments. Even while we are sleeping, they can actually be doing work for us. And because they're participating in a digital ecosystem, they can actually earn credits for us, or they can even be sent on missions to unlock certain maps in games that we're looking at playing. So see, these are some of the things that we foresee is going to be happening in the near future. And by near future, I would say that in the next 1 to 3 years. But beyond that, in the next 3 to 5 years, we believe that each one of us is going to have a digital twin. The digital twin will, be our identity online. We're going to see a lot more virtual influencers coming about. Brands can actually own these virtual influencers. We as individuals would also be able to own these virtual influencers, and they would actually be able to serve us. And this is where we believe that NFTs in the long run, or these digital twins, will actually allow us to actually earn back what is the most valuable asset in the world, which is time, right? We will see a lot of artists having these digital twins that will have virtual concerts or even do virtual meet and greet, where they are not expected to actually go on tour, get burnt out, and then end up in depression. But instead, now they can actually create a whole new genre of digital products that will still continue engaging with their fans by creating new digital experiences, right? So this is really where we foresee the future of NFTs. But in order for all this to happen and to bring the discussion back to this discussion, the key thing that needs to happen is interoperability. And this is where we're very, very excited about what Polkadot is building, especially with the Para tokens, because there needs to be a standard for all these NFTs to operate between chain to chain, right? When we host a website, we don't tell our community, oh, my website is being hosted by Microsoft or it's hosted by Amazon, right? By this point in time, when you're going to mint an NFT, you need to communicate to your community that it's an ETH NFT or it's a Solana NFT, so on and so forth. And that creates this divisive aspect, right? People are struggling to actually enter. And that is the main reason why NFTs have not reached a mainstream at this point of time. right? There's still a lot of work that needs to be done to enhance interoperability, and this is where a lot of standardization needs to come in, and this is where the tech community needs to come in to create these standards, to build the infrastructure so that a lot of these NFTs are available in multi-chain, and that's what we are working towards, and that's what I will leave behind to you guys as an inspiration, because you guys are at the right place, and you guys are at the right platform. This is where Polkadot will play a key role, and we believe that Polkadot would be the future. And I will encourage you guys to look a lot more into this space. Thank you very much. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Prakash. That was very simply put, to be honest, and very easy to understand. We do have a couple of questions, though, guys. If you have any further questions, do drop in the chat right away, and we'll take them. In the meanwhile, Prakash, a couple of them. So the first one being, the legal framework for NFTs doesn't really exist. So buying from a fake seller is a genuine concern. Maybe NFT marketplaces should scrutinize sellers better. So how does EnjinStarter, or how do you solve this problem, the authenticity of the makers or the sellers?
So this is something that we spend a lot of time on, primarily because a lot of people on our community participate in projects that we promote because of the due diligence that we have gone through. Typically, we like to work with communities that the founders are doxed, and we also ensure that the legal structure that they are using for NFTs or whatever token that they're issuing is issued of a jurisdiction which is favorable for digital assets. To be very honest, at this point in time, the infrastructure and the legal frameworks are still not in place.
Yes.
Typically, regulators take some time to actually understand innovation. Where we're coming from Singapore, we're definitely moving towards a regulated-based model, but they're going to start off with tokens before they come into NFTs. But the government has already said that NFTs would be taxable, and this is something that we greatly welcome, right? But coming back to your question, it's really hard to know which projects are legit or not, which projects are going to be a rug pull. But before you invest into any of these projects, I would encourage everyone to do their own research and to make sure that the teams are fully doxed before they actually participate. Because if they are anonymous, I strongly would recommend that it's going to be highly likely that it's a project without good intention.
Possible. Fair enough. Fair enough. Thanks, Prakash. Okay. So this one is my personal question to you, but what was your start of the journey? Where did you start off, and how did you land up where you are? Like,
sure.
Yeah.
So I've always been in the digital industry. I built my business in Web 1.0 by building websites for .com companies. And then I got into Web 2.0, where I made my first pot of gold by building communities on Facebook with a company called Yoke, which was eventually acquired by WPP, which is the largest network of advertising agencies. And after I exited the business, I saw my brother getting into Bitcoin in 2013. He used to run a cafe that accepted Bitcoin as a form of payment. I saw him go through that entire journey, never participated in it, but only got into the business in 2016, where I started advising companies in their ICOs. We invested into a few projects, which is where I really learned the velocity of this space. We made money, we lost money, we got scammed, but that built character, right? I always tell my friends in crypto, we never lose, but we always learn.
Yes.
And that's where we are. But where we are today with EnjinStarter is where we are with Web3, where we fully believe that this is the economy that allows us to actually own a piece of the action that we are part of.
Yes.
And this is where we are investing personally, as well as the company, into enterprising projects. Even if it's a small amount, it's a way that we want to learn. We want to be close to the founders, and that's the best way that we can actually participate in this ecosystem. Personally, I enjoy being part of some of these NFT communities, even though it means waking up at 2 a.m., trying to mint, not sure, what to expect.
Yes.
But I'm also using it as an opportunity to educate my kids. Each time there's an egg that I'm going to hatch, or if there's, an unraveling of an NFT that I bought, I bring my kids into the picture. I show them what exactly is it that I'm doing. And this way I can actually motivate them as the next generation to understand the world that we are in, to understand the world that we're moving into, and so that they too can be a participant in this.
I think this was really nice, Prakash. I think this is a great point of inspiration, guys. We can all start from scratch. We can all start from wherever we are. It's about just believing in the right concepts and investing in the right funders, basically. Thanks, Prakash, for this. I think we do still have a couple of questions still, but in your entire journey, what has been the biggest challenge, Prakash? Be it as a builder or as a marketer or whichever.
I think in building any crypto business, the biggest problem that we face is the amount of scammers that exists within the ecosystem. A lot of the mediums and platforms that we use, especially Telegram, does enable a lot of such activities to happen. People will change your name and pretend to be you and offer allocations to your community. If you actually ask a question within the community, they may reach out to you and offer help, but they're just there to fish. And that's really something that has given me a lot of pain. Each time I hear someone losing money, it pains me, because when they leave the ecosystem, they're going to bring 5 to 10 people with them, right? They're going to share, their challenges, their pain. And I think that's the biggest pain point that I see within the ecosystem. The infrastructure is still very, very rudimentary, and it's going to take some time before we actually bring things to a whole new standard where everyone is fully docs, and it prevents a lot of these scams from taking place. But being in crypto, we constantly need to be on guard, because every day there's a new attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Again, a very slice of life insight there, Prakash. On that note, I'll add my own point over here. Guys, do not invest more than you can afford to lose. Okay, so that even if you lose it, nothing's gone wrong. So I'll add that on me. We'll have one more for you, Prakash. Hope we're not troubling you too much, but
anytime.
Yeah. So this one's from Amit. Which is the most innovative NFT project you know? And which is the NFT which has with the highest utility that you have seen so far?
Sure. I think to date, the Bored Apes project still has been the gold standard, right? They started with NFTs. They eventually launched their own tokens, and lately they've been also selling their virtual land, and they have actually tied up that utility in a very integrated manner. If you had missed the earlier NFT minting, you could still participate by buying either their coins or buying their virtual land. And now they've also taken this digital experience offline. They've started working with brands to actually create branded experience. And that's really the formula that we are seeing that's working very, very well. And this is a formula that we are replicating with a whole lot of projects. And I think that's really the gold standard when it comes to what we're seeing with Bored Apes. And yeah, it's definitely what everyone aspires to be a part of.
Okay, super. So I think, okay, one last question, if you don't mind, Prakash. Again, as a founder, so, you have various levels to deal with. As you know, like while we ran a poll at the beginning of this session, and we have a couple of entrepreneurs too, who are going to start off their own projects. So as an entrepreneur or as a founder of a project, how much did you have to invest into the community build part of it? Or did you hire a team separately to handle that part? Like, what was your investment toward the community build for entrepreneurs?
Sure. I think the first thing that we did was to find my co-founder, who's a developer himself. Personally, what I believe is anyone who's actually interacting with a smart contract in any form, your future is going to be very bright, right? Because the entire Web3 is going to be built on the blockchain, and a smart contract becomes that interface, right? What we saw in Web2 is anyone who was working on HTML or in languages like Flash made their wealth, especially if they started monetizing their time in a very efficient manner. So yeah, the first thing that we had to do was to build our developers. And once we started getting them together, we actually built a product. And whatever capital that we had raised went purely into building the platform as well as building the community, right? There is no shortcuts towards building a community. A lot of people will come to you to say that, overnight, they can give you 10,000 followers and so on and so forth. Never buy any of that, because each one of it is going to be detrimental to your growth. We spend a lot of time attending events like this, speaking and participating in AMAs, just continuing to do as much hard work as you can, especially during a bear market, because this is the best time to build, right? It can't be a better time than now. And I assume that a lot of you guys are developers, and I will strongly encourage you guys to come together, to form teams, to build products, to support projects that are headed in the right direction, and to provide your talent and your skill sets, because this is the most valuable skill set, right? For us, the biggest challenge that we have as a venture-funded launchpad that's looking at growing quickly is to find developers, right? It's extremely hard to find them. Most of them have either made a lot of money and they can't wake up in the morning, or they're just genuinely busy with their own projects. And this is where we're investing a lot into training. We are working with a whole range of partners who are converting Web2 developers into Web3. And this is where we're looking at working very closely with your ecosystem, your platform, to explore various ways that we can work together.
Absolutely. This was very warming, to be honest, Prakash, because we have so many developers out here waiting to get out into the Web3 ecosystem. So guys, this is exactly why you guys need to be upskilling. You guys are in the best place, and it's a big future out there. And someone like a founder of EnjinStarter, which is one of the best in the world right now, coming and saying that they need developers. So I think, guys, you got to be listening, got to be training, and let's stay connected. Thanks, Prakash. I think this was absolutely great.
If anyone needs any help, just reach out. If anyone is looking for an opportunity to work with us, just reach out. I'll connect you to my team and look forward to being part of this community. Ananya and Shri, thank you very much for this opportunity. Hope I delivered the value that we were expecting.
Oh, way more than that. Thanks, Prakash. Thank you so much for being with us. Guys, join in our WhatsApp and Telegram channels, please, because we'll be sharing all these event recordings with you, so you can keep revisiting these conversations. And you can also reach out to any of us admins out here if you have questions that we can direct straight at all these amazing founders and leaders out here that spoke to you today. So yeah, just keep in touch with us and stay engaged. All right. And thank you so much, Prakash. This was fantastic. Greg, Maarten, Prakash, if we could have you guys more around, it will be great. So also, people, thank you all for joining in tonight, but we have a lot more things to do. Firstly, your last quiz question for the night. If any of you are interested in grabbing those free 20 dots, top 3 answers get each of that. All right. So can we have question 3, please? Okay, so which country has the highest number of NFT owners? That's A, Malaysia, B, Thailand, C, Vietnam, and D, Philippines. You'll have to type in A, B, C, or D on Twitter with your tagging us on _Polkadot India, and we shall reach out to you if you've made it, right? So that's top 3 answers at 20 USDT worth of dots each. So guys, I'm going to repeat that question, and it's on your screen again. Which country has the highest number of NFT owners? That's A, Malaysia, B, Thailand, C, Vietnam, and D, Philippines. Right? Nothing commercial. We just want you guys to stay excited and come back to us each time. All right. All right. So I think with this, we come to a close. But before that, we had a fantastic contest that we ran for this NFT themed month. And, we had you guys creating NFTs, and we had fantastic entries. At least 15 of them made it through the entire round, and some interesting giveaways to add to it. So let's have the winners announced already, right? Next slide, please. Just go for the next slide. Okay, so this is who we have out here. So at third place, we have Kashish Raizada. Congrats, Raizada. The AirPods are all yours. At second, we have Satvik, and you get your smartwatch definitely. And taking away the very first place is, and a kick-ass portable Bluetooth speaker is Pushkar Singh. So those are our top three. But for the rest of you, you were absolutely amazing. And we'll make sure that you take home something interesting too. So yeah, that's about it from us. And thank you, Hack to Skill. This was great. And we hope to do many more community activities like this with you and keep the community involved with fun tasks like creating NFTs and God knows what more. Yeah. So we come to a close to this Friday, and we'll see you at our next chapter. And next time round, it's about advanced games and play to earn again. That's going to be a very exciting conversation to deal with. So registrations are in your chat box. Join in. And developers, again, do not forget, this is something I'm not even giving you an option. You cannot miss this if you're really interested in building out some really good Web3 projects out there. Okay, so that's Substrate Saturday, starting on June 25th. And yeah, do register away. You've been fantastic, guys. And thanks for keeping it interactive. Keep coming back and have a great evening ahead. Let's all stay inspired. See you soon.